Hey, everybody, getting a little more caffeine, and we'll get started. Set up for another great day. Give me a second, guys. We will get to it. A lot to go over. And put that on pause. And where are you? Present, hit that. Present. Where are you? Boom. Who's the winner? I am. Yay. Got it. All right, done. We're not bonding. We are now bonding. All right, cool. All right, all kinds of things to go over here. You're already seeing a drop here, probably out of nowhere. Let's go take a look at why. Well, something happened. Let's go see what happened. It's in the whole market, right? Yep. See if we can find it. It's got to be something. Maybe it's just technical. I don't see anything. Probably something out there. Give me one more second to go to another site, see if I can find it there. And then I'll just balk on it. I don't want to waste a lot of time on it because it's not going to matter. It's going to matter, but not really. Go here, here. If I can find it here. Canadian housing starts came out. Did that do it? I can't imagine that did it. I don't know. Something did it. We'll figure it out. All right, there's a lot to go over here. Let me just make sure that I'm good, and then we'll rock and roll. What's up, Bob? Good morning. Hi, Lisa. Happy Friday. Lisa got a new hat. Who's got a new hat? Lisa does. All right, let's get to it here. So I would love to see a retest of this level. That would make me so happy. I don't know if I'm going to get what I want, but let's see if we do. That would make me really, really happy if we get that. Let's go look at some of these other levels like the ES for a second and just look at what's going on here. So one of the key levels you're seeing up here, obviously, is going to be right here. We've taken out that high, the retest, and then from there you've just rolled. So I think you're going to come back down to that 55, and I don't mind that at all. Remember, you got Option X today, and you have a lot of players out there, that have a ton of options and a ton of hedging that they have to unwind. What I would mark off, Phil Sneeze coming, is right here. We can see that, and we'll mark that off as well. But see that level right there? See it? And this is where you're at. So this is what you've been doing all day. Not exactly a ringing endorsement for having to rush in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours of straight selling. So I'd like to get down to here and test that, but let's see what happens with it. And then we'll go from there. But I don't see the reason you got to get too goofy in here. Now, I usually don't look at this more than I look at the clouds, but I will just show you this on the RSI because I think this is important. So what you're seeing on this RSI is you are cracking here. Now, usually if this cracks, it's a precursor to this coming down. And this coming off and working that off is not a bad thing. But what I tend to do is this, is I will just look at this, right? Now, whether you're going to say here or you're going to say here, right? No matter how you want to look at it, doesn't really matter. But at the end of the day, you already cracked from this point on right here. See it? So once that cracks, you got to figure that you're probably in the mood for some, not in the mood, but you're going to get some pain. You're going to get some pain here, and this is getting wider. So it's definitely something to pay attention to when these cross. I usually don't use the moving average because I don't really need it. After you do this for a long time, you can just kind of tell where it is, and you can kind of see where. Oh, good. All right. So that's the light we have today. I don't know if it's good light or bad light. I actually don't like the moving average. So there it is. I'm just not a fan of it. You should be able to tell where it is. But you can see the lower low here. And like that's not groovy either. So let me just show you. So you just want to watch this stuff a little bit and see how we're playing out. You had a big rally here. Some backfilling would be great. And you have a huge op X today. So it's a big one. It's a big one. So we're going to want to watch that. If we go take a look at the 4 hour before we get into it, you're up here. So what you want to do is let's get rid of my 1,000 levels for a moment. Well, let's do it this way. Let's go to the hourly, and then let's go back to the hourly and get rid of this. And, we can get rid of that altogether and get rid of this. And then let's look at it this way so you can see it. And we'll put the clouds in. So what you're doing is you've been hitting and bouncing into my little green cloud here, right? But you just have to watch because you are starting to flip on the smaller cloud, which you really haven't done for some time. So when you zoom in on that, the question is now you're below that 20 EMA, which is kind of like a leading, kind of like you just want to follow that a little bit, see how it does. And you can see how it's just constantly staying above that, right? Here you kind of got the flim flam at the end of the day before you just ripped on retail sales. So, but if you're seeing this and you're seeing the flip from here on Thursday, so things are pretty good. And, let's see how this plays out. I don't see a real need to do a lot. Just make sure that you hold in that level and you don't want to start getting below that cloud. You definitely don't want to do that. So, but that's really kind of how I say it. And that's what I'd be paying attention to more than anything, quite frankly. And then we'll go from there. But let's see what else we got here. And then we could just go here. What else do we have that I think is really important? Let's start here. and we'll go here. And then we'll go to this. Okay. Oh, look, right, bouncing. It was a great sell-off of 5 minutes. Well, no, that's actually not even pre and post. All right, let's get to it here. And drop this down, and we'll pop these in because we should pop them in. And just stay out of the way and just let it fall down. The farther it goes, the better, actually, quite frankly, right now. So you just want to let it fall apart. I do anyway. I came in pretty flat from yesterday. So, because you just knew you were going to have that kind of day. We're going to be all over the place, and we'll get to some of these other high-flying names that are out there. But I think if you look at it, these are levels that you should probably pay attention to today. You have Michigan consumer sentiment coming out, and I think that's a really important number, frankly, today. But I really do. I think that's a really important number today. And what you'd want to do here, for me, I just always put an alert up here because if it gets back up to here, I'm going to want to know, can it get up there? Yeah, absolutely. So I definitely want to be aware of that. And let's go take a look at the S&P on a 1 minute. Go from there. And you're just completely imploding. Down the whopping probably 50 basis points. I'm going to leave that one up there. And then you want to be here and just see if you get over that first. And then you're just going to want to go there and mark these off. Do you really mark that off too? You probably do, right? I mean, I think that they're really the most poignant ones. Maybe something in here. You can see how you broke in there and how that responded. But that's really kind of how I say it on a shorter term. You're going to want to hold there. It's a long way down. But we'll see what happens. I don't have a lot of faith that we're just going to fall apart here, to be quite honest with you, but we'll see how it goes. That's where I would start. The other thing that I think is really important is just to go through a couple of these names you guys are going to ask me about. So we'll start with AMAC because I'm sure that that's where it's going. I didn't think this was that bad at all. I really didn't. I didn't think that this was that bad at all. I actually thought it was fairly decent. I was surprised you acted the way that you did, but it is what it is. This kind of name, this is kind of where you closed. If I went and took a look, I actually tried it last night, didn't work, but it just reversed like almost immediately. And then you're getting back to that level, and this is where the close was, and you're trying to bonk around, but these would be the levels that I would watch. You'd want to make sure and see how you're going to act if you get down here, put an alert there. I mean, I definitely want to know that. I'm not so sure you just, pardon me, you fall apart here. So, I do want to watch it. Personally, I thought it was fairly good. I thought margins were a little weak, but the guidance was good. So I'm not really sure, pardon my voice, I'm not really sure what the headache is. Like what, I mean, maybe the margins, and maybe because it moves so much, maybe expectations. I don't know. I don't think it should have been that bad. I really don't. So we'll go and take a look at that. But some of these others, let me just see something here. I want to see something for a second and just see what's going on there. Yeah, they are smoking. These things are really setting up to really come in really hard. I should probably go through that. So you have this new thing out, right? So this is the long ETF. This might be the easiest short in the world. Quite frankly, I'm surprised at this thing that they're bidding it up. It's a long only fund. I wonder if they're going to even let me short it. They're going to give me a hard time with it. So let me see if they'll even let me do it. Yeah, they're just killing semis here. Come on down. But let's go through this. NVDS. Usually these things are like disasters because of the cost structure. Tesla, they're killing. I wanted to stay short that, but it just didn't stay in the plans. You can see it right here too. I mean, you got above that 55, so we'll see how this goes. But they're selling semis, selling a lot of semis, selling tech too. See how bad this gets. Hopefully it gets worse. I'm looking at going long. That's why I want it to get worse. On down. Boom, boom, boom. Let me just see one more thing. Give me a second, guys. Let's see something. Give me 1 second here. And we'll go from there. I don't know why that would be an issue. I'm just going through some news to see if I'm missing anything. Nope. All right, cool. Nope, just let it fall apart. All right, cool. You're going to be really wild today just because of the option X. You're probably better off really going to, you're already over my level. My alert already went off. Excellent, excellent. You're probably going to be really smart to look at Max Payne today and go look at those levels and go from there. I do think that that's definitely something that's worth paying attention to, you know, for sure. You know, are they going to say building permits were weak? And, you know, building permit performance and housing starts. Okay, so they were a little weak because they're not building houses. Housing starts were negative. I mean, we could argue that point. Maybe that's why, but housing starts are always negative. Like, that's not a big deal. Maybe they're looking for a reason to sell. Let me go through some of this and say, all right, they could say permits are down, but permits are down because people aren't buying houses because they can't afford them. So that could be it. That could be doing it. Let me see something here. Maybe I'll show you this. I don't know. I don't really view that as the be all end all, but it could be this. This could be driving us down. It's kind of stupid if it is, but let me just show it. Hold on here. That's building permits, which came in lower than expected, and that could be doing it. But it's kind of silly, really. Even housing starts came in super light. So they could be saying that because housing starts are basically back to a 5-year low. But people aren't going to build houses now. I mean, they're just not going to do it, right? You have to go back to, it's lower than any pandemic level. So that might do it. Here, I'll show you this too. But this is housing starts. So that might be freaking people out a little bit. I don't know why they think people are going to build houses when people can't afford them. I mean, it's not really rocket science, but this could be the other part of it. And we'll go look at the housing stocks in a name because obviously something's got it. You see that level right there? So if you go here, and I'll just do it this way, and then you can kind of say it. I'll just, instead of doing that, but see that level right there? If you come straight across, let's hide this for a sec. Then we'll get back to it. And then see that level right there coming straight across, right? And I can actually probably make that go here, and then we'll be able to see it even better. Yay, right? So you're back to pandemic levels, and maybe the housing starts got people feeling like scared. But I mean, not for nothing. Who cares? Like, how can you expect people to build houses if they're not selling houses? You know, you need to lower rates. I mean, it's not rocket science. You know, I mean, who's going to spend money on a house they can't afford? Like, duh. So if you're going to sell in the video because of that, thank you. See, wait for that to find there. And we'll go from there. So. And we'll go from there. So this goes. All right, cool. What else do I want to go over? AMAT, again, I thought AMAT was really good. Hopefully that'll hold. And we'll go from there. But I do, you're going to want to be really careful today because you got a lot of option X out there. And I think that they're trying to knock stuff down personally to get filled because the breadth yesterday was absolutely insane in the market, like really strong, really strong. So I would watch this. The other thing is this ASTS, that everyone's going to be all over this thing today. I marked this off and I'll just show you. These are fib levels from yesterday and you're respecting it. The one thing I would tell you, if you're going to play this today, just watch the VWAP here and then the VWAP up here, the peak VWAP, and then this one as well from the opening. And putting fib levels on this when you've got blue skies above you like this. Here, let me show you. Like it's basically a blue sky straight because there's nothing above you. So if you're going to whack this thing around today, what you're going to want to do, or what I would do, is this. I would put myself in a position where I would look at that and go, okay, that's definitely something of interest, right? But, I got to get above that 78.6 before I'd even think about it. So that's what I would do. I'd watch that and go from there. And then we would just kind of see where they're at. But I kind of like this still. I think this will be pretty aggressive today. And you have to watch these retail names again today. I think you're going to get a lot of retail buyers out there. A lot of these guys are covering their shorts. The question really that people keep asking is Lulu. When does Lulu fire its CEO? They're selling like $80, $90 t-shirts for dudes. Like, I don't know what gym you're going to, but like we usually mock those guys at the gym. But, I don't know who's spending that kind of money on a t-shirt to go to the gym. Like I spend money on clothes, but like really you need that special t-shirt? Like that's kind of silly. I get the whole like legging things. I don't know. Do the girls still wear the legging things? They do down here, but some of that stuff I looked at, like, what are you guys thinking? And I don't even know that space, but I would watch this one. I think this one might be next. ELF, not so much. I think they have issues there. Technically, you see that line right here. But I was watching Lulu, like, when is that going to catch on? Because it's the big brands that are doing it. The question becomes, does Disney catch down here? And, you're really in that sweet spot down here, right? But I don't know. They have some massive issues. So I think the way to look at this is, you look at Nike and what he's doing there. Ulta, I like a lot because of Buffett. He'll be around forever with like his war chest. I like buying names that he's in. I don't think it makes any sense to buy Berkshire Hathaway whatsoever, but I do think that you should look at like his war chest and kind of go from there. I think that makes a lot of sense. When he points that, like what he does with it, I think that's pretty substantial. But something like Ulta, I'm interested in, but you can see, I'm sure you already see the area of problem right there. What else is interesting? ARGT, this thing just keeps breaking out and going higher. All these banks keep going higher. Go over that. I'll take a lot of questions today because I'm sure I have them, and we'll go from there. But that's really it. Other than that, I think things look fairly decent, and we'll go from there. See how this all starts playing out. But look, it looks like you tested and then you held, doesn't it? See how that goes. Maybe there's something there. Maybe something, maybe nothing. Oh, for God's sake, hold on. That's exhausting. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. There we go. Bum, bum, bum. See what this does here. See if you're going to hold. You're going to hold, or you're going to go lower. Lower is better, but that's a pretty big reversal bar right there, isn't it? I don't know what that is on an ATR, why we got everybody here. Let's do things together. I love stuff we can do together. What do you got there? So you got 28 cents on a bar. Your average bar is 28 cents. Where are you at? So I got a bar that's 2x the ATR at the bottom of a chart, and you undercut. And you're going to start pointing down and getting weaker, which means that you're probably going to rally. So let's see what you do here. And what I'll do is this, so that you guys aren't watching me just do this all day long. Throw that over there. And let's go to the heat map for a second. See what the heck's going on in this crazy world. Did that move, or did it move in the video? Oh, good, I give you the heat map. Let's go look at the heat map, and let's go look at the market, see what's going on over here, and see if we're going to go higher or we're going lower. And let's go pre-market on this, and then we'll be able to go from there. Volume, and then we're going to do pre-market change, and then we'll go from there. And let's get rid of everything except the big dogs and see what's going on. So AMCR took it on the chin. So that's the first thing that we would note. GEN, Fox, AMAT. All right. So that's definitely something of interest. I don't know that that's going to stay down. Fox, that's kind of interesting. What's going on there? See what if there's something there worth talking about before we go any further. But something's going on. Was it earnings? Must be. I don't know, something that's a pretty big jump on that. I'd be curious as to why. I'll have to watch that later. Let's go back to the heat map for a second and get off of that. And then just take this down to twos and see if there's more there. Airbnb, they're crushing again. Gen, they're crushing again. Best Buy, they're moving. I wonder what Airbnb. I think this company's got issues, personally, but we'll see. Give me a second, guys. 1 second. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know if that's worth it or not, paying attention to. I tried to short this the other day on this like disgusting quarter, and it just like ripped. So sometimes these things just get absolutely washed out. And this one looks like it's just getting absolutely washed out. So let me just see what's going on here. Yeah, it looks like you're probably going to undercut on that. But all right. And let's just keep going. What else do we have here? Anything else that I got to pay attention to? Let's go to the NASDAQ for a second. Go to the NASDAQ 100 and see what we have in there and go look at the big dogs there. Anything different? AMAT, geez. Wow, that's pretty aggressive. All right, so let's go to the twos. Anything in the twos? Marvel, they're hitting ASML. So they're taking semis to, you know, there might be a trade there actually. Looking at those names, they got hit too hard. Microchip, that's interesting. You're up. Intel is just a disaster. Nothing really of consequence there, is there? Starbucks, I kind of like that Starbucks today. Lulu, I actually think that there's something going to brew there. I think they're going to say, hey, you know what? We want our stock price to go higher, fire that guy and go from there. I actually think that that's where they're heading, but I could be wrong. Let's get rid of, why is that so important? There you go. And let's go back to the ES for a second, see what's going on and go from there. And drop this down. Legs are killing me today. Probably from squatting. Let's go and sit down. Going lower. Here it goes. Oh boy. All right. They're hanging on here for dear life. Looks like they usually don't hold. It looks like that. They usually break another lower level, but let's see. See if it's going to hold there or not. See if that level's any good. Where did that level come from? All the way back here. It's a pretty decent level. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to hold or not. It sure looks like a bear flag to me. I'm not really sure that's going to hold. But we'll see. See if it does or not. I don't know. That's pretty nasty looking. Should bounce something. But you haven't really done anything there. Yeah, you would think if housing starts are bad, then they would rally the interest rate sensitive names, and that really hasn't happened yet either. So let's see what happens there. But that's kind of interesting because those names should actually rally on that, but they're just not. All right, let's get to some of these questions. What's up, Bob? Yeah, I was looking at the Sox. I do think there's something there on the Sox that's of interest. I don't know what you're going to get today with, please, sweet Jesus, work with me, not against me. I don't know what you're going to get today because of the AMAT. So I'd watch that off the open. I kind of like that the housing starts is doing this, and it looks like one of the Fed speakers said something stupid. And that's why we're dropping. But I do like the Sox here a lot. There's a trade I do on SOXL. I actually bought this yesterday and sold it yesterday. But there's a trade I do on this. And when it triggers a couple things, and it triggered a couple of those things, I need one more thing to happen. But I actually like this, John, here. You know, I think you have a pretty clear shot if you can get through a couple things, but we'll have to see. You'll have to see if it does or it doesn't. But there's a couple things here I really do I do like. But I think the Sox is fine. I think that the AMAT's going to whack it around a little bit. So I'm really curious about that. You know, that's down 6. I don't know if that's going to stay down or not. I'm not really sure if that is or not going to really stay here. So I think that's really your driving force today. And, you know, you might want to start looking at like the Lambs and all these other names that they're going to kill off the open. Like they're going to take Lamb down, KLAC down. You really want to take KLAC down here? Like on this news? I don't know. Where to take it down to? 14 points? Like, you really want to take that down here? And then, you know, like, are you going to close under that? Like, are you really going to close under the 55 here now? Probably not. You know, so that might be the way to look at that. But we'll have to see. I'll have to see how that plays out and go from there. Where's that at right now? But they're not really rallying the interest rate names. You know, if they were doing that, look at the volume on that too, versus like looking at Lamb or even AMAT. So I kind of like AMAT here still, but nonetheless, ASML will come down on it, which is kind of silly. But that's like a wild, wild ride that name. KLAC looks the best out of all of them, doesn't it? And you're above, you got the gap fill right here, you're pushing. So, I mean, I think that's the one that makes the most amount of sense, but we'll see how that goes and then kind of go from there. What else do we have here that's of consequence or that I think's of consequence? There, I would watch semis today. I wouldn't be on the camp that they're just going to fall out of bed. I guess that's kind of where my head is with it. I'm not sure that that's what they're going to do. So I would watch that really closely. This light is entirely too bright. Maybe if I'm sitting, it's too bright. Happy Friday. Yep, this is on the list too. 100% that is on the list. This looks beautiful, beautiful. See, I mean, you have your above average volume. You'd pull back. You're in the right spot. Consumer discretionary. It's such an easy trade too. Like, pardon me, all you're really doing is just waiting for that. And if you break that, you just get out. But there's nothing to do here. And that should probably just grind higher, really. It really should. Like there's really nothing to do with this trade. And the margins got it. I was surprised that it went up on the estimate and everything else, but the margins are what got it up. So I thought they were fairly decent. We'll see. But I do like this name. Yep. That is on my list. I'm definitely watching that one. Please, yep, helps greatly with Thiago. Please hit the like button. EWM. Yeah, I don't really know that much about this and why it's moving. I mean, I know I have friends there that love it there, but like, I don't know. I don't know anything about it, man. Like nothing. I don't know. I don't know what's going to move it through there. I'd watch that level pretty closely. Crocs. I think a lot of these names are pretty beaten down. I'm not really a fan of that. No one's really that interested in it, are they? You have no volume whatsoever. What else you got? That's probably looking really good. Yep. So I think out of all of them, this makes the most sense. So you need to find something in the industrial space if you look at this too. Like this is going to take out highs. So, I mean, if you need something and you're looking for something there. Yep. All right. So that. Yep. And go from there. I think this makes a lot of sense. I don't know why you're just sitting in that range this whole time, but I think this makes a lot of sense, like a lot to look at. I think you're finally going to break out. And then the other is going to be, what is that? Is it that GEV and that portion of it too? Did you see this? Finally start breaking out. So I think this is fairly interesting too. Jacob, hold on. So I think that's fairly interesting too. And it gets you in a completely different space. But I do like that a lot. So definitely worth paying attention to. Yeah, I do like that, Jacob. I like the GE the most out of those three. What's up? I thought PLTR looked good yesterday, and they just couldn't follow through. So you're not getting that umph. So if you look here on the weekly, like that's how your weekly is going to close. The great thing about the weekly is if you can get that, pardon me. I mean, that's your stop. So that makes like life so easy because that's your stop there. And then all you're doing, I mean, that's your real target. So that has a lot of potential there. That can get over, which it is. And you have above average volume. And now you have like this $2 stop versus a $5 or a $6 move. So, and then kind of go from there. Pardon me. I don't know why the throat's so scratchy today. No cigars last night. I do. I like this a lot. I tried it a couple times. One time I made a little money and then it faded. One time I think it just got stopped out like super quick. When you have bars like this that encompass all of that, it's very hard to picture this thing over the weeks not moving faster, right? Like I think that's one way you have to look at it. Like it's very hard to picture that not moving, a little faster here. So it's definitely of interest to me. I think if you looked at it this way, let's spend some time here on it. So like if you went here and just dropped in like the anchor, I mean, I don't really need to even do the, we just go all the way back, right? Like there's nothing up here. Like there's just nothing. Once you flip that, there's nothing here. So that's very appealing to me. Really appealing to me. I like that a lot. David, I sent you an email. I'll take care of it. I thought I did already. What's up, buddy? What's going on, Sneed? You know, Dash, I just realized I use a Dash a lot. And I just realized that you can do add-ons. I think that's where they're making a killing. So like, let's say you go out, you buy a steak or whatever. You can go like, oh, I need something at the store. And they'll send it from their own store. So like they have like what we refer to as like a Wawa or 7-Eleven. It's super smart. So the DoorDash person knows where the store is. I guess they go there and they get those items and the other items. Like all of a sudden you're not running to a convenience store anymore. Like CVS and Walgreens are hosed. They're done. Like those days are over. I mean, that Walgreens might be the easiest short in the world if you have the patience. I mean, I guess from a pharmacy standpoint, right? But start doing outposts like that. I really like this a lot. I don't like the volume, but I really do like that name a lot. Kava, I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of like the $40 salads. I say that, and Sweet Greens is killing it. So does Kava kill it because Sweet Greens is killing it? I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. This was super simple trade. Right here, once you flipped, whenever you flip these anchored VWAPs from the IPO days, how's the IPO doing? Are we seeing volume in that? But might as well look at this while we're here. Boy, the ADD kicked in right there, didn't it? Look at the IPO. You always want to watch this. It talks about the health of the market. You're just flipped over there. Yeah, I mean, both those names I think are really interesting. Dash, I would want to see more volume and then kind of go from there. So, so I'd want to see how this plays out here and kind of go from there. I don't really see a sense in doing it because of the volume, but I really like the name. I need like this. I need something. What else we got here? What's up, Simply? What's up, Journal? What's going on, Alex? I think you got some issues here, brother. I do. I think you got some real issues here. Look at this. I was looking at this last night. So let's clean off my notes. But look at this. So like I don't put a lot of faith in this because this thing's so manipulated, right? But if we look at that, bonk, kind of gets there and then just rips your face off, breaks down, bonk, bonk, right? Breaks down. Look how many times you hit that recently. So lately I feel like I got water in the ears. Maybe it's allergies lately. It's making my ears itchy. If you pop up over this, that would be something, but you're just not able to do that. So, I mean, as goes Bitcoin, goes MSTR. For me, I was looking at this. So that's your whole life right there for Bitcoin. It is. So I was looking at this, and then the guys in the room will get like mad at me because they like love it. But see this right here? Like, I think this is going to be the easiest short in the world. So it already opened. You already can't get above there. It's going to be 2x ETF. And all it's going to do is just trade exactly. I wonder if they're going to let me short that thing. It's going to trade exactly like MicroStrategies, and then it's going to have the expense ratio. So it's just going to drop in value. So even if MSTR goes down, that thing's going to be flat. So if you really wanted to own MSTR, you're almost better off just like go long this and then short MSTR. That way, if it goes sideways, you have that with it. But I mean, that's one thing to do. I would actually probably short this and then just go long MSTR. Because if I wanted to be short, or I'll just short the heck out of this thing. I think this thing's toast, but because the expense ratio on these things are just crazy. So we'll say go from there. And let's see how that worked out. Yay. So whenever you see these bars, like at the bottom, like you have that test, guys will know this from that educational class, but you have like you break, right? And then you have that, there's your test of that area. Here's your retest of that area. And then you have like an ATR bar here that's like 2x the ATR. They're always like spots that are worth paying attention to. And you just kind of want to watch that right there. But you probably want to watch that area because that's your control bar. That bar broke it all down, right? See how like you were going sideways, and then that bar broke it down. All right. Yay. All right. Anyway. So it is what it is. And what's my, oh, good. Good. So that worked. So what else do we have? Where were we? We were MSTR, AMAC. I don't think that that's done, dude. I really don't. I would watch that level really. 904, Jesus. I'd watch that level. Bro, I lost more. Like my worst trade yesterday was Tesla. I must have tried shorting it 3 times. And every single time it was just like, yep, come on in. Like it just, it kept breaking and breaking and breaking. And then it just wouldn't follow down. I don't know, and now you have this. Sneed here. Let me show you. But wait, there's more. Now you have this. I like that 55 in yellow, huh? That's snazzy. Now you're over. Like, do you really want to short something that has institutional sponsorship? Like, I don't want to short that now. Yeah, they all are. They are a little ahead of themselves. Look, it's not going to be straight up. There's no question about that. Like, I'll just do it this way. It's just easier. I'm going to go over that this week, but go look at the breadth of the market. Absolutely 100% when you get up here that you sell down. Like, it's almost like, you're almost always going to have like some kind of sell down when you're up here, 100%. You can go like set your watch to it. The question is how deep, how deep is it going to be? And I don't have an answer to that, but you always want to watch that and go from there. And so just watch that right there. What else we got here? Keep an eye on Saba today. Isn't that the company that's like, it's an absolute like pig? Like they completely lied about their data and it just keeps going up no matter what. They just keep squeezing shorts. I'm okay. I'm not going near that thing, dude. I don't understand why Google is dropping the way that it is over a breakup. I would love nothing more to own Google when they break it up, if they broke it up, which I don't know, man. You're years away, but maybe they're thinking about like what they're going to have to face through it. But if they broke it up, I mean, look when they broke up eBay and PayPal. Like, look when they broke up Standard Oil. Like, you want to own those when they break them up. Just have a long-term outlook. Screen good. Way to start a Friday. Yay. What's up, Hamada? What's up, Ian? No, they unwound it. Yeah, I think those guys, I mean, to some extent, don't you think they're kind of like paid actors at this point? Like, what is the purpose of that statement besides to get retail out of their positions? Like, seriously, like, what is the purpose? You know what I mean, Jesse? Like, oh, I got to get up this morning. Like, I got up this morning and I thought about it. I got to warn everybody. There's signs of a recession. Thank God for me. You know what I mean? Like, dude, it's so obvious that, like, what are you going to do? You want to go work at Citadel someday? But they're numbers. Who cares? It just, as long as the debt service, who cares? Just in time. Who's got a new hat? Pff, you do. What's up, Jose? Imitations. I know I got to get those. Is that what it says? Imitations? I got to get that out. I got to change that. There I go. I don't know. I can only do so much. No, I don't. I like Visor a lot here. I see the comment on Visor. I don't know. Corval, is that the ice cream cake company? Cookie Puss? I don't know what these guys do. Why don't I have earnings? Why do I have these fake earnings? What are you showing me here? What am I looking at? I don't know. It's really not enough volume. All joking aside, it's really not enough volume for me to look at it. Is it? I'll take a look at it. Yeah. Starting to roll again. You had all those long only people in here that now wondering what they own. Hammer time. Oh, I got money. Yay. What does it say? Just wanted to thank you for great content. Oh, you're welcome, buddy. I know people are sick of the stool. People send me things. It's funny. But the stool is like such a great way for me to get people. First, thank you. I'll make sure it goes to St. Jude's. It's so funny. Like, I think it's the easiest way for people to get the concept of how an investment bank is set up. But so thank you very much. You can buy puts all you want. Melly's a beast, dude. Melly's just a beast. NU is something I have to look at, but I have so many other banks. I have so many other banks now. Oh, you're welcome, Hunter. I'm having a blast. True. Feels that way lately, doesn't it? Oh, you're welcome, Simply. I'm having a good time. Please hit the like button. That's awesome, dude. Congrats. Great trade, man. I'm thinking that. Oh, women get pockets. I don't know. That sounds like my life without pockets. I don't know, Christy. That sounds like communism right there. I have it somewhere. It's on the internet. Let me just go through this. Thanks again, Oscar. I'll make sure it goes there. Bet talk say enough comments both content. Yeah, I just think they're doing it on purpose. Thank God. Thank God for me. Wristband sued. Thank God for me. Is that what it is? I don't know the story. It is. It's so wrong. It's communism is what that is. That's what that is. Why don't women have pockets? You know, the biggest scam for women that I ever saw was when this was years ago. I was married. And I remember watching my wife take like her stuff, my ex-wife. She would take her clothes to the dry cleaners. And like my shirts were like $1, but her stuff was like $15. You guys get hosed at the dry cleaners. All right, I got to jump. Have a great weekend, everybody. Trade to win. They want us to buy purses. It's probably